at why I stopped using action cameras as webcams. So the first thing I noticed was the quality was not good. What also happens on the action camera, if you plug it in and you put it somewhere, after a little while I noticed it was freezing. So if the cable moved slightly or something else moved, then the camera would reset and it will freeze. So you'll have to kind of go away from the camera, so you'll have to kind of do that and then come back to the screen again, and then it will reactivate. And the quality was very low. If you have lights, then it's actually quite good, but if you don't have lights, then the quality is not excellent at all. For streaming, it would be fine if you're doing 720 1080. The sync issues, so what I noticed was when I put it into the computer and set it up to give me a 1080p feed, so how big the picture was, the audio was not synced to the video, so it's a bit laggy. So I had to manually go into the OBS software and add in a little bit of a delay to make my audio sync. But then I noticed if I had two action cameras, one would be slightly out and one wouldn't be slightly out. The video audio is like kind of a bit off and it's not really good. Upgraded to a webcam, so the cable issue stopped, so I got a cheap webcam which already has a cable plugged in, so that did quite well for a little while. But again, the quality wasn't excellent on the webcam unless you go into Logitech C920 I think it is or something, but they're quite expensive, so I didn't want to go down the route of getting something really expensive. So why I stopped using action cameras for live streaming is because of the quality and the reliability. I'm going to be talking to you about why I stopped using the Canon EOS webcam utility tool. So what's the main thing here? The main thing to remember is if you have a camera and you want to make it a webcam, you're not live streaming at high qualities, you're fine. However, when will the challenges come? The main challenge here is going to be if you want to use this camera as a live streaming camera and you are happy with under 720p, kind of close to 720p, it's all right. So on this camera, I think it's important to remember if you use it as a webcam, you're gonna have to do a lot of jiggery pokery to make it look decent. And when I say decent, like widescreen view, so we'll keep that in mind. But the main additional thing that we did have an issue with for the EOS webcam utility tool is, firstly, it was crashing. It crashed quite a few times, and the reason for that was it's actually a software that enables the camera to be viewable by USB. So if you add it into OBS, what you'll notice is you'll add a camera in, and then if you had a problem or you wanted to add another camera in a live stream to show another view, you had to double click on the camera to change the source and the camera would just freeze up. So that was something that I was aware of and I was working around. So at any point I was live streaming or recording video, I made sure I put all my other cameras on first, because you know I've got multiple views on my setup, like standing desk as well. So with that, what will happen is if you set it up last, I had a USB plug-in. I used to turn this webcam utility on last, which meant everything else was set up and this came on, and then I was all right. However, people are still having issues with the EOS webcam utility tool. Now, the main thing here was it was designed to help people to be able to use some type of video function, and it perfectly performs for that if you have one camera. But if you're going to get a bit more pro and make it more live stream multi-camera angles, then you need to also update the infrastructure around it. So you'll know I picked up a cam link and I started live streaming in better quality and more reliable quality. So the main difference here is going to be if you're just streaming for yourself, this video is not going to probably help. You don't need to change. But if you're going to get serious and you want to get more professional and you don't want issues during your stream, that's when you need to update to more reliable things. It is a shocking moment. We have stopped using the Canon 250, which is the 550D camera. What are the issues with the 550, which is over here? He's always been behind the camera recording me. So that's the 550D. You can see there, that's the camera. It's a solid camera overall. There's nothing wrong with it. But why did I change? Well, I changed from my Canon 550D to a 250D. So technically the numbers have gone backwards, so you'll think it's older, but no, it's not. The 250D is a newer camera. So when I use it for live streaming, I plug in the camera and put it there. Then I plug in a HDMI cable, HDMI capture card into my computer. And then when I want to live stream, I come and turn on my button here, which turns on my lights. And then I have to physically go over to the camera and turn it on. Well, it's turned on because I have a dummy battery in there. But I have to actually click this button here to make it movie mode, to enable the video signal. And I don't really like doing that because I stream so many times. I do a couple of live shows. I do videos every now and again. When I get a question, I just make a video about it. and it's quicker to just let the camera automatically turn on. So the good thing about the 250D that I moved over to, when I turn the power on, because it works off a dummy battery, it automatically comes onto the screen and I'm ready to use it on my software OBS I use, like, you know. So that's one reason. Another reason, when I was moving, this camera did not have autofocus in live view. So I was actually getting blurry and the photo quality wasn't excellent, video quality even. So that was another reason. But the main reason I moved away from this is I was using the Canon EOS webcam tool for a long time, and that webcam tool was being used via USB. So the workflow was, I used to plug it in, I used to open up the Canon EOS software, and I used to take the thumbnail image for the video that I'm recording on the camera while it was on my live streaming setup. So I had the photo ready, then I close the EOS tool, go to the Windows task menu, close it from there, and then OBS would open up and the EOS webcam utility software would kick off and this camera would become a webcam at 720p. Well, not even 720p, it was less than that. It's like a square format, similar to how the screen is. So that was limiting. It was quite a bit blurry, so it was interesting to use that for a long amount of time. So alongside that, you know, I use the 5D as well, the bigger camera. So technically I could just do this and that is good to go. So even though it's a starter camera, 550, you've got a pro lens on there, it'll take amazing video recording. It's just in live stream where I was struggling with it. Would I buy a 550D again? Probably not now. Previously I would have probably bought it, but because of the live view and the live streaming aspect of things, I want focus following. But yeah, photo wise it's perfectly fine. So for example, if someone is new to photography, I wouldn't say get a full frame DSLR camera because it's quite big, but in size comparison you can see what like the sizes are for the cameras, so it gives you a good comparison. So it's more of a dummy thing now I use on my show to like give an aspect ratio kind of idea of that. But yeah, that was a look at why I stopped using my Canon 550D Canon camera.